जय राधा माधव और
आप कर सकते हो या तो आप सीधा लेक्चर पे जा सकते हो।
हाँ, I'll do that lecture. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिने इति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Can everyone hear at the back? Okay. So I'm very happy to be here. I had actually planned to come to New York and leave from this place by 29th so that I could go back and celebrate Narsimha Chaturdashi in Mumbai. But Krishna had another plan and I'm grateful to be here. And it's a very, very special day. I think I'll just sit like this. It's much comfortable. So out of all the incarnations of Krishna, two are most prominent. One is Lord Ram and the other one is Lord Narsimha. And Krishna is the avatari. He is the source of all incarnations. The Narsimha Purana specifically mentions that the worship of Lord Narsimha Dev is very, very crucial and important in Kali Yuga. The Yuga we are living in right now is called Kali Yuga. And it is known as the worst Yuga. Srimad Bhagavatam explains, there is no good quality in this Yuga. It is full of faults. There is only one great quality, it says, and that is Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Brajed. That simply by the Kirtan of Krishna's holy names, one can achieve all perfection. That's the only thing we need. However, Kali, who is the in charge of this Yuga, Mahabharata explains he is the worst of personalities. So he tries to create distractions. He tries to create obstacles in the lives of those who want to pursue this path, who want to engage in Sankirtan, who want to engage in Srimad Bhagavatam study or hearing. Because these are the two things which can counteract the influence of Kali Yuga. And in order to remove those obstacles from our life, the worship of Lord Narsimha Dev is very important. In order to reach Krishna, approach Radha Krishna, there are many obstacles. And Narsimha Dev, who is Krishna only, but Krishna, when he wants to protect someone, he appears as Lord Narsimha. So he is the one who removes all obstacles. How many of you know about Ganpati? I think everyone in India. And Lord Ganesha is famous for Vignaharta. But do you know where he derives his powers from? Lord Narsimha Dev. So every day he makes an Aarti Thali and he goes to worship Lord Narsimha Dev. So Lord Narsimha Dev is the boss of even Lord Ganesha. So if you worship Lord Ganesha, you can remove some obstacles, but when you worship Lord Narsimha Dev, he can remove all obstacles. He is known as Sarva Vigna Vinashak. If you worship Lord Narsingadev, you don't have to worry about the 9 planets. You don't have to worry about Lord Shani or Rahu, Ketu. You don't have to worry about your horoscope. Recently, there was an incident in a devotee's life in our congregation in Mumbai. And there are certain astrologers from the south. So they were experiencing some difficulty. And since these astrologers are connected to the Madhva Sampradaya, they are extremely pure. They have a pure lifestyle. So I thought you might also just go and consult them. There was some big problem happening. Because they are devotees, so I instructed them. Although astrology is not something that we put any faith in. Krishna is enough. But because they are Krishna devotees, they are genuine. But not ISKCON devotees, of course. So this devotee, so he instructed her to do some Shani worship and chant certain mantras for Shani, because everybody is scared of Shani, right? And she came back and I called her immediately. I said, we are not going to worship any devata. If you are worshipping, she has a beautiful temple at home. She has Sita, Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Radha, Krishna, Narsingadev, Gaur Nitai, Krishna Balram. You name it, she has all the stars, all star cast. I said, you simply worship Narsingadev. You are only chanting Narsingadev's mantra because he removes all these bad influences. She did that. She did that only. And one evening, one night actually, she had a dream. She shared that during the day. And in that dream, she saw there's a very, very tall deity, a black deity. Very tall black deity. So she thought initially it was Lord Vithala. But then that deity suddenly started moving and he came close to her. She's seeing this in her dream. And he started talking to her. And he was smiling. He chatted with her for a while. And then he disappeared. It turned out to be Lord Shanidev. So he gave that indication that he was very pleased with her. There's no need to worry. And obviously the problem they were worried about, it was a big issue. And it just disappeared by God's grace. So when somebody looks at the form of Narsingadev, they might just get scared. Especially the picture which is worshipped in ISKCON altars, where there's blood all over, and Narsingadev is tearing Hiranyakashipu apart, and Prahlad is standing like this, and where Prahlad is standing with a garland. So once in our temple at Chowpatty, one Buddhist came, and they're all about non-violence, ahimsa. And right at the reception where he was waiting, we had a big picture of Lord Narsingadev, the same picture. There's blood all over and he's tearing him apart and intestines are all over and there's blood on his manes. So he got scared. So he asked somebody, who is this? He said, this is our God we worship. First shocker. He said, what is he doing? He said, he's killing this demon. Okay. So who is this child holding a garland? He said, he is the son of the person who is being killed. Who is he holding this garland for? He's holding it for the person who is killing his father. So he left and never came back. Couldn't understand. But please know, sometimes devotees also get scared of Narsingadev worship. And there are devotees who scare devotees about the worship of Lord Narsingadev. But please know that Narsingadev, that ferocious form, is only and only and only for those who harass devotees. just like a lioness. Her ferocious form is not for her cubs, it is for the ones who try to harm her cubs. So devotees are never scared, they should never be scared. In fact, Narsingadev is in the mood of a very, very loving father. Always. So, today is the day when he appeared. And I'm not actually going into the story too deep. I'm just talking about certain principles because stories all of you know. But I'll share some incidents which will help us increase our faith in his worship. I already mentioned Narsimha Purana especially recommends worship of Lord Narsingadev in this yuga. So there was a man, an old man, when I joined the temple. So my first seva in the temple was receiving the guests and giving them those laddus when they leave, or chat with them if they wanted to. So one old man used to come. He was delirious, he didn't know, but it was his rule. Every day he would come to the temple, or at least 4 or 5 times a week. Sometimes his son, sometimes his servant would bring him, and he had to hold his hand. He couldn't walk properly, he couldn't talk properly. And he would come, he would sit next to me, he would take out a mala which he was wearing around his neck, he would start chanting. And he would not chant like on bead one mantra. So this is how he chanted. And his he had a special affection for one of our devotees, very senior devotees. So every time he would come, he would get 2 mangoes. One for Gopinath, our presiding deity, one for this brahmachari, one for this devotee. And even when he could not come to the temple, he would send those 2 mangoes. So this is like, there is nothing exciting about this story till now, right? Even to me, there was nothing exciting. So during that period, I was also taking care of the flower seva of the deities. Designing their garlands and getting the flowers and deciding which flowers to come every day. For 5-6 years, I was doing that. So it was the day of Narsingh Chaturdashi, and if you have ever visited the Chapati temple, in the courtyard there used to be dioramas. Dioramas means like made of fiber, like deities of different incarnations. Narsingadev also used to be there. So whenever the festival is taking place, that particular diorama, if it is Ram Navami, Ram, Lakshman, Sita, Hanuman, they come to the temple hall, and there is a big altar made for them. There they give darshan. If it is Shivaratri, Shivaji goes inside the altar. If it is Narsingh Chaturdashi, Narsingadev sits in that altar with Prahlad. And whenever there was such a festival, I used to get a special garland made for that particular diorama. So that day, that particular day, suddenly a thought popped up. Because the Abhishek has to happen in the evening. The devotees would come to the temple in the evening. And morning the Lord would be here. So I thought, let's make 2 garlands today. One the Lord would wear in the morning, and another fresh garland. So he looks even better when the devotees come to see him. They will be happy. And he'll be happy. So the first time, instead of making 1 garland, putting it on him in the morning itself, it stays till night, we thought we'll make 2 garlands. So that happened. And after the darshan closed in the afternoon, that same devotee whom he used to bring that mango for, he approached me, is there an extra garland? I said, for what? Somebody has passed away and I have to carry a garland for him. So then I remember, oh yes, I have an extra garland today. You can take Narsingadev's garland. And because I have another one for him, the fresh garland, which I can put on him in the evening. He took that away. That also happened. And around 13 days later, I get a message from this devotee that he's not in Mumbai. Can you go and do some kirtan on the 13th day of someone who passed away and give some talk? I said, okay. I went. And then as I sat down to speak, I sat down to do kirtan, I see it is the picture of that same old man who had passed away. Nothing exciting till now. But now the main story begins to manifest. I had never spoken to his son, but this is how Krishna reveals his grace. The son started talking to me. And he said, you know something? My father used to take 2 mangoes every time he visited the temple. One for this devotee, his name is Sankirtan Prabhu, and one for Gopinath. Even during Sundays, he would make sure his servant would go to the market, get those mangoes and send it for the Lord and the devotee. And then he mentioned something. He said, and after he would leave the temple darshan, he would come into the courtyard, he would stand in front of, there is a deity of Narsimha Dev in the courtyard, you know. He would stand there for 5 minutes. He would chant some prayers. God knows we never heard what he was talking. He would stand there religiously every time he would leave the temple for 5 minutes at least. And then that was also a ritual that he followed. And just imagine the mercy. This devotee, this old man who didn't know what to speak, what he was doing, where he was doing, where he was going. But in his own way he was serving, and he would stand in front of this deity particularly. That attraction he had somehow, not the main deity. And look at the mercy, look at how Lord Narsimha Dev reciprocated. The same day, the day of Narsimha Chaturdashi, this devotee passed away. Right at noon time when Lord Narsimha Dev appears in the Abhijit Muhurat, the most auspicious time of the day. He killed Hiranyakashipu at dusk because that was the condition, but he appeared much earlier. And the garland of that same deity went for him on his dead body. So only Narsimha Dev knew and this devotee knew the connection with each other. In Mayapur, we have one of the most ferocious forms of Narsimha Dev. And initially, when the deity came, people get actually scared worshipping the Lord. So one pujari used to do his arti, but he also used to tremble, kampte the. And one morning, as it was Brahma Muhurat time, suddenly he feels there is somebody sitting on his bed. And he opens his eyes and he sees this the same form of Narsimha Dev sitting. He tried to get up. Narsimha Dev put his hands on his shoulders and he just lie down. Relax. So he was trembling again. He said, why do you get scared when you worship me? You don't need to be scared. Don't fear. And then the Lord disappeared. And this devotee was too shocked. And he just ran into the temple hall, thinking, and everybody's looking at him. And he was wondering, why is everyone looking at me? And then he realized he had just ran into the temple hall, just wearing a towel on his body. He was so excited or shocked, whatever you want to call it. So, this is a very, very special form of the Lord, Narsimha Dev. A form which is full of mercy for his devotees. And Srila Prabhupada used to say, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, that Prahlad is our Guru. A 5-year-old child becoming a Guru for the whole world. This pastime is extremely long. It is one of the longest pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, the whole canto of Srimad Bhagavat is dedicated to it, the 7th canto. And when Hiranyakashipu, the demon, who got benedictions from Lord Brahma, and he was terrorizing the whole universe, and he controlled everything in such a way that even the Devatas, the most powerful rulers of the universe, became his puppets. He had made arrangements, they had to come and dance for him also. He changed the whole system. He had so much control that anybody who was doing good work, he would send them to hell. Anybody who was doing sinful activities, he would bring them to heavens. He had such control that if he was walking in his garden and it was too hot, he would just raise his eyebrow at the sun and the sun would reduce its temperature by a few degrees. If he needed slight drizzle, he just had to look at Indra, and at that particular spot only where he was walking, there would be drizzle. Such personalized service he was receiving. And he had made a rule that every morning all these devatas had to come and chant his glories and address him as Bhagavan. And they used to come and chant, Bhagavan Hiranyakashipu ki jai. Just like all of you. So, such control. And he thought he was invincible. Nobody could defeat him. And the kind of benedictions he had received, I should not die during the day, at night, inside the house, outside the house, in the air, on the ground. I should not die at the hands of any devata, any human being, any animal, or anyone created by Lord Brahma. And he thought he was in control. And there's nobody before that demon or after that demon who could exercise such control. And look at Krishna's sense of humor. It's just like you send a spy into somebody's camp and you think he's your friend, but he's actually your enemy. He destroys you. So Krishna made an arrangement. You think nobody can defeat you? So he placed his own spy in the form of Prahlad in his house. Hiranyakashipu, a big demon, and a great devotee like Prahlad was born in his house. How could that be? There is a story in the Puranas. Hiranyakashipu, he went to perform tapasya to get powers to kill Lord Vishnu. And as he was performing tapasya, all the demigods, all the devatas, Indra and others, they got together and they were discussing, what do we do to deal with him? He's already so powerful. What if he gains more power? So Naradji came and Narad Muni said, you don't worry, I'll take care of him. So as Hiranyakashipu was busy doing tapasya, Naradji took the form of a bird and he came to where he was doing tapasya. He came close to his ears and he loudly chanted, Narayan! And then his tapasya was gone. So he again tried to concentrate. Again Naradji came as a bird. He said, Narayan! So it happened a few times. He said, hell with my tapasya, I'm not doing it. So he went back home. But because the name that he heard was from the lips of a pure devotee such as Narad Muni, who was the greatest worshipper of the Lord's name. Why is Naradji able to transform so many hearts? Why is he like a touchstone? He is equally respected by the demons and the devatas. Wherever he goes, he is respected. And he has such power. It was only because of him that Srimad Bhagavad manifested in this world. It was only because of him that Ramayana manifested in this world. He has devotees like Prahlad, Dhruv. And even Mother Parvati is his disciple. What makes him so powerful? Because he's constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. The name of the Lord is the greatest power in the universe. Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, he was asked again and again, what is the secret of your success? Within like 11 years, you opened 108 temples all over the world, made thousands of devotees. He said, the secret is in the name. The secret is in the bead bag. So there is no greater power in this universe. You have desires. It is said, Krite yad dhyayato vishnum treta yam yajato mukhe dwapare paricharya yam kalau tadhari kirtanat. In Satyuga, when people wanted something, like we all have so many desires, right? Like even if you are seated here on the day of Narsimha Chaturdashi, it doesn't mean we are purified of all the desires. We might still have desires apart from pure bhakti. So in Satyuga, whenever people had a desire, they wanted to get something, they wanted to get power, they wanted to get a son, they wanted to get bhakti, they had to perform tapasya for a long, long time. In Treta Yuga, the process changed. You want to get a desire fulfilled, it became yajna. So when Dashrath Maharaj wanted a son, he didn't go and perform tapasya, he performed a yajna. In Dwapar Yuga, the process became temple worship, deity worship with punctuality, cleanliness. And in Kali Yuga, only Hari Kirtan, the Nam. So whatever you could achieve in Satyuga through tapasya, in Dwapar through temple worship, in Treta Yuga through yajna, can be easily achieved in Kali Yuga simply by vibrating the name of the Lord. You have material desires, you have spiritual desires, you have desires for liberation, everything the name can give. And this is the only power, and this is the only spiritual practice which will be effective in Kali Yuga. And the best part is, there is no hard and fast rule. You can chant wherever you are, before taking bath, after taking bath, walking, sitting, it doesn't matter. So once you start chanting, the result will be eventually 100%. Even if the chanting is inattentive, though we try to chant attentively, but even if you are not able to focus, even if you are not able to concentrate, it is still going to act. Srila Prabhupada used to give the example that if somebody is dying and you put nectar into his mouth, even though he doesn't know that this is nectar, the nectar will still act. If you touch fire while you're sleeping, will it burn you or not? If a child touches fire, who doesn't know the power of fire, will he get burnt or not? If you touch fire jokingly, it will still burn you. So the name of the Lord acts like fire. And because Naradji is constantly chanting that name, he is able to manifest anything. Like there is so much talk about manifestation these days. Heard about it? Has this pandemic reached Paramus also? New Jersey also? People want everything cheap. And it is actually available. But not the way they want it. In Mumbai, you find people waking up at 3:33 a.m. They're writing their wishes. And the technique is that you assume that what you want, you've already achieved it. I said, if it was that easy, I can just wake up in the morning and say, I am the Prime Minister of the country. Where is the destiny in picture? If you don't deserve it, you won't get it simply by writing. But if you really, really want anything to manifest, even the impossible, then we have to chant. The chanting is so powerful, the name is so powerful, it can manifest the Lord Himself. So is there anything greater in this world, greater than the Lord? So if the chanting can attract the Lord, it can attract anything within the creation. So yes, it is very easy, manifestation is very easy, provided we understand how to do it. Lord Krishna tells Naradji, in Kali Yuga I have withdrawn all my powers from all the holy places, from all the rituals, from all the Vedic scriptures, all kinds of charity, all kinds of tapasya. Because these are the things which make us qualified to get what we want in life. And then Naradji is like, then where are those powers then? Where are those benedictions? He said, I have invested all of it in my name. So anybody who will chant my name will gain access to all my blessings, all the benedictions and all the powers. So Hiranyakashipu, because he heard that name from such a pure devotee, it was ringing in his ears constantly. Only when the name is chanted purely, it will have that complete effect. And chanting the name purely means only and only for the pleasure of the Lord. There is no other purpose, there is no other goal. So in that situation, he conceived a child in that mental state. This was constantly ringing in his mind. And when the child is conceived, what kind of soul will be attracted into that lady's womb will depend on the mental state of the father and the mother. Therefore, there is a system of garbdhan samskar. What is samskar? Samskar means purificatory process, where you purify your consciousness before you plan a child, so that a pure soul can be attracted. So everything is very scientific, everything is very systematic in this world. What to speak of conceiving a child, even when people wanted to get married. You read the Bhagavad, the father would say, go and perform tapasya. Why? Because you can't carry out a responsibility properly without being pure. So people used to perform tapasya even for getting married. Nowadays they're not doing it, so after marriage there is tapasya sometimes. Before marriage, wonders happen. After marriage, you wonder what happened. Something like that. But tapasya can't be avoided. So, there was one man and his wife's name was Tapasya. And it was a birthday. He got a cake for her. And then he got a nice sauce from her. Nice beating and whatever you call it. Because the person writing the name had misspelled it. Instead of writing happy birthday Tapasya, he had written happy birthday Samasya. One letter can change so many things. One book was written, and that book sold like 1 million copies in no time. So the title of the book was How to Control Your Life. But the publishers had in excitement at how to control your wife. There's nothing against Mataji's, by the way. So don't feel offended, but I'm talking about your power only. So because he conceived a child in that state, even in the house of a demon, a great Vaishnav was born. And Kashyap, Rishi and Diti, if you read 3rd canto of Bhagavad, the child was conceived in a very contaminated state of mind. Even in the house of a Brahma Rishi, 2 big demons were born. So human life is so special that every choice, every word that we speak, every thought, every action is going to decide our future. And therefore we have to live our life so consciously in a way that everything that we speak, everything that we do brings future happiness and not distress. And days like these, like Narsimha Chaturdashi, they are days of spiritual reset. If you want to reset your life, like sometimes if your phone is not functioning, you just press that reset button, goes back to normal, then you can start all over again. So on these days when we come together to hear the glories of the Lord, to sing His name, to worship Him, then whatever mistakes we might have done knowingly, unknowingly, whatever bad karmas we might have performed, they are nullified. Because ultimately, what is the goal of our life? If I were to ask you, what is the goal of your life, Madhavji?
Find out what the purpose of life is and to fulfill.
Yes, Team B. What is the goal of your life? Your name? Ananga Mohini. What is the goal of your life? To not take birth again. Who is bothering you? Who is troubling you so much? All of you are lying. You say to find the purpose of life, you say to not take birth again. The goal is happiness. Because you think this will make you happy, so you want to pursue this. You want to seek an answer to this question. You want to seek a solution to the problem of birth and death. And what stops us from becoming happy? It's not just about devotees, it's about everyone. What is the goal of life? To be happy, isn't it? But what stops us from becoming happy, experiencing happiness all the time? Problems. Why do problems manifest? Past karma. So when you engage in devotional service of the Lord, especially on days like these, those karmas vanish. So the root cause of your suffering is gone. So what will you achieve if tomorrow somebody asks you, why do you go on Sundays to this place? Why do you spend your time, your evenings doing all this Hare Krishna? And he said, just to be happy, because I know this will lead me to happiness. In the Gita, Krishna has very nicely explained that if one does not have this divine connection, one cannot have steady mind and intelligence. If one does not have steady mind and intelligence, one cannot have peace. And without peace, where is the question of happiness? So eventually, this connection leads to happiness. Why should we keep coming? Why should we stay connected? Why should we practice this lifestyle? Because this will eventually guarantee happiness to all of us. It will give us what we are aspiring for. The Bhagavad Gita first teaching, Krishna explains, we are not these bodies, we are spiritual beings, we are spirit souls. When I was in college, I used to read about this in Prabhupada's books, I used to hear his lectures, and in every lecture almost he would repeat this one statement, we are not these bodies, we are spirit souls, we are spiritual beings. And I was like, such a simple thing, why is he repeating again and again? And now, after so many years, this is the only thing I repeat. Because I realized this is the deepest truth. People are looking for happiness, but they have not realized, first of all, who they are. How many Gujaratis here? Marwadis? Sindhi? Punjabi? Maharashtrian? कोई बचा है क्या? South Indian? Bengali? Yeah, the hottest topic abhi. Bengal, all over the place, all over the internet. And now tell me, Gujarati goes on a world tour. You may give Gujarati a pizza, pasta, burger, but what will give that Gujarati maximum happiness? What happens when a Sindhi goes? Huh? Dal pakwan, took, Sindhi curry with bundi, papad. Why is that? No matter what we eat, we will need this food, and like every few days. Why? Because that's where we belong. The body belongs from that particular region. So that food only will satisfy. And what is our actual identity? We are the soul, the spiritual beings. And therefore, spiritual environment is our natural environment. Spiritual life is our natural life. And the more we stay connected to it, the more we shall be happy. Irrespective of whether we have anything or nothing in life, irrespective of what's happening around us or in the world. The secret of happiness, I'll end with this. Prahlad Maharaj has explained in his prayers to Lord Narsimha. Because story is too long, so I didn't get into the story. It would take me, I gave 1.5 hours lecture in the morning also online. But the secret of happiness. He says, Naivatmanah prabhurayam nijalabha purno Manam janadi avidushah karuno vranito yadyajjano bhagavati vidadhitamanam tatchatmane pratimukhasya yatha mukha shri. So while he is offering prayers to Lord Narsingadev, Prahlad is saying, my dear Lord, whenever anyone offers anything to you, he only benefits, he does it for his own benefit. Because you are not in need of anything. When we give our time, our energy, our money, our resources for the service of the Lord, we should not think we are doing a favor to the Lord. चलो चलते हैं, नहीं तो नरसिंह देव बेचारे अकेले बैठे रहेंगे. He'll feel lonely. So let's go and he is not the one who is going to be benefited. He is Atma Ram. He is fully satisfied. He is Apta Kam. He has no desires. But when we go, we are the ones who are benefited. And Prahlad says, whenever a person offers you anything, he is the one who is benefited. He does it for his own benefit because you don't need anything. And he gives an example to make us understand. He says, just like when the image in the mirror, like we all stand in front of the mirror for some time. And some time or for long, I don't know. All depends. Like I asked the ladies in Bombay, how much time does it take for you to do your hair? 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours. And then, what is everyone's screen time? Yes, Ananga Mohini ji, how much time do you take? You are laughing a lot. How much time?
On the screen, to get ready.
Yeah, to get ready and then screen also.
To get ready, like 20 minutes.
Good. You're saving a lot of time. And what's your screen time?
On my computer and phone, around 7 hours.
That's for work.
On phone, I haven't checked.
Anybody with a screen time of 10 hours? I met somebody 12 hours. And uselessly scrolling. Not that she has some work. 9. So I met somebody with 9 hours in, which is this place I went? Somerset. 9 hours on screen. So calculate it. So when you're spending 9 hours on screen, so 136 days in a year gone. 9 hours per day. So you multiply that. So 136 days of the year gone. Wasted. Add to that 7 to 10 hours of sleeping, eating, bathing. Another 155 days gone. And then you will gossip also, or you will talk, you will chat, you will chill. So literally 300 days gone. So out of 365 days, you're only left with 65 days. Productive days, if you can call it. 8 hours? 7? 6? 5? 6 hours, Prabhuji? For work? Yeah. Work plus? Acha. Yeah. Anyways, I just got distracted from the topic. So Prahlad is saying, my dear Lord, whenever anyone offers you anything, he does it for his own benefit because you don't need anything. You are fully satisfied. And he gives the example. He said, you are just like when something is offered to the real person, the image in the mirror automatically gets it. You stand in front of the mirror and you see your image in the mirror. So what do you need to do to make the image in the mirror smile? You as the real person must smile. What do you need to do to see a pearl necklace around the neck of that image? The real person must wear. Prahlad says, my dear Lord, you are the real person, we are like your image. So that is the secret of happiness. And always remember, this life, spiritual life, is not a life of rejection, it is a life of connection. If you stay connected, somehow or the other, you will be immensely protected. You will be blessed. It will protect you from greatest dangers, greatest fears in life. So if you want a smile on your face always, make sure you engage in activities which put a smile on the Lord's face. And what pleases Him the most? The path of Bhakti Yoga. Now what is the highest aspect of Bhakti Yoga? To chant His names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So my humble request to everyone is, it doesn't matter who you are, wherever you are, even if you can't come to the temple always. Like I've been distributing those digital counters these days, everywhere, in India, in the US. Get those, keep it on your finger if you can't carry your mala everywhere. And fix a certain number and chant. And over and above that also, if you keep that with you, you will end up chanting more. It also acts as a visual trigger. The number is also visible. Oh, I've chanted this much today. So it inspires you. Because the mind needs a sense of accomplishment when you see the numbers. So keep chanting, because the name of the Lord is our biggest, is the greatest friend, the well-wishing friend. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. In Kali Yuga, the Lord appears as His name. So that is the principle, that the Lord appears again and again in this world to remind us. Sometimes He appears as a human being, Lord Ram. Sometimes He comes as Lord Narsimha. But eventually, although He says in the Gita that I come to protect Dharma, to destroy the demons, to protect the pious, to re-establish Dharma, but the ultimate reason why the Lord comes into this world is for the pleasure of His devotees. Narsimha did not come to kill Hiranyakashipu. When the Devatas prayed to him, please save us, Hiranyakashipu is tormenting us, the Lord said, the time has not come yet. And in the Gita He says, I am time. Kalo asmi. But the Lord says something very important. And that will sum it up, the whole process. Why all of you are following a very special path. He says, when Hiranyakashipu tortures my dear devotee Prahlad, then I will come and kill him. Devatas are not pure devotees. They are nowhere close to Prahlad ji. But he says, if he troubles my devotee Prahlad, then I will come and kill him, disregarding all the benedictions of Lord Brahma. And he did that. So if you ever want to be something, if there is any position in the world which is the safest position, it is that of a devotee of the Lord. So just try to be devotee. Manmanabha mad bhakto madhyaji mam namashkuru. Always remember Krishna. And Prahlad Maharaj is the emblem of that Smaranam part. There are so many rules and regulations in the scriptures, but two rules are the kings. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. It is the same rule basically. Always remember Him. So when Prahlad was tortured, there was a pit of snakes he was thrown into. He was thrown off the cliff, and he was thrown into an ocean. There was poison sent to kill him, elephants and black magic and whatnot, and the weapons, but he survived. And I'll leave you with this one most important sutra for life. In our life also many challenges will come, they keep coming. But if we do what Prahlad did, even though so many tragedies are expected according to our past karmas or calamities or dangers, but if we follow what Prahlad did, that example, we will remain unharmed. That's a guarantee. So what did Prahlad do throughout all these dangers, throughout all these calamities? He didn't even pray to the Lord to protect him. Like we usually end up praying also. He didn't pray. He was simply remembering the Lord. And as Krishna has promised in the Gita, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam bahamyaham. That anybody who remembers me with undivided attention, I carry to that person, I carry what he lacks and I protect what he has. And this is an exhibition of that principle. If you ever feel anxious, if you anticipate some danger, if you are stuck, the doors seem to be closing, if there's an obstacle after obstacle, don't get anxious. These stories are not just to entertain us, they are there to enlighten us. And those principles are still very much applicable. Try it. Instead of doing chinta, start doing chintan. And I've experienced it in my own life. I've seen it in others' lives as well. This smaranam, remembrance of the Lord, is the most powerful principle. It is the biggest protection. However big the problem might be, if we simply focus on remembering the Lord, in our mind His image, on our tongue His name, you will see the biggest calamities can be averted. All the things will start falling into place. All you have to do is not to run around, not to get anxious. Just sit and start focusing your mind on Him. Start remembering Him. And all the dangers will pass. All the doors will open. That's a lesson that Prahlad ji taught us. Hare Krishna. Shishi Narsimha Dev Bhagavan ki jai. Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.